Hi. So this video was supposed to come out this Thursday, but I couldn't find appropriate time to make my recordings. I couldn't just go with the flow. But here is Amityville Ripper. I pretty much gave up on watching in order, but at least this is accessible. Spoiler alert, this is a meta film, and in the SRS cinema they didn't do their homework, unfortunately, so there is one tiny detail I just can't look over. So this does not fit in the canon, even if I just wash away the meta aspect. Technically speaking, it's somewhere in the middle, so it's not bad, it's pretty competent. I occasionally liked it, but just let's get into the review. After countless sharks, vibrators, Christmas vacations, it is finally being demolished. This starting sentence or whatever introductory part is mixing up the timeline, but that's okay because, you know, the house being demolished is kind of a fluid plot point, so I mean, Amityville is space, we still have the house being there, but in other installments it gets blown up or demolished, and even after the yard sale, even the planks of it just took away and hoarded around. So I can't really complain listing all these, and these are in theory good references, but I have a problem with vibrator. Vibrator is the last item in the whatever we call canon. So you can talk about the vibrator in past tense when there are more items out there, because according to Amityville Vibrator, the vibrator is the last item from the yard sales out there. All other items got exorcised. They are no longer threatening, and that's the last item. I can just wave it away. This is one of the very few things I can nail down, and I'm sticking to it. So please pay attention when you are making an Amityville movie, or write it around. In theory, you can still have some items. It was very hush hush, and it's somehow people did not get notice or whatever. But you should recognize the fact that in Amityville Vibrator, the vibrator is the last known item out there. So when they say all kinds of items from the house can be yours, and they know the items are cursed, then no, the vibrator cannot be yours. At 2 minutes 18 seconds, yes, we are. You couldn't make another take. Just stand in with botched lines. This was one of the SRS cinema is relying on crowdfunding. My guess is found some budget releases, where they tell the numbers. Seems the Kickstarter is aiming for 10% of the whole sum they were spending, and one of the way they can get money, and actually very good money, is selling people roles in their movies. So lines or whatever. The main way they are inserting you into their films is that you send in your segment and it will be a news segment, or just before or after the movie you will say something that's related to this whole Amityville phenomena, how you went through some possession or something like that. So accepting accepting a take, you know, why it's the internet, so it's not like you are mailing a disc or CD or cassette or whatever, or pen drive. You are just sending an email. That doesn't take long. So someone sends in a take where they botch their lines, which probably they themselves written, then yeah, maybe that's, yes, maybe that's something you should ask to redo. Seems a gimmick here for the Becker cameos, by the way, is that guy but not that guy trope. I recognize the joke, even if not particularly funny, so I just wanted to point it out. Also, something aliens. How this will fit into the netto 1 hour runtime with Amityville and Jack the Ripper, I had no idea. Briefly, let's say that it's mostly a Jack the Ripper movie who is brought back by the power of Amityville because, you know, possession and summonings. Yeah, pretty much. So just so you know, it's not your usual moving in, paranormal stuff happens, then the demon comes at the end. It's kinda sorta, if you are looking at it from very far or with a very wide lens, but it's not really. It's more of a serial killer movie. Either way, aliens are probing people. Judy's perving on his sister, so we get the incest angle from the Amityville horror. Who voted for this? I ask myself, and he's talking about Y2K. So the date for the events in this movie is 1999, December 31. I hope no American or whoever is watching this got confused, because it's not 31 December 1999 in my phrasing. It's just much more convenient for me. And if you realize that you are like 30, 40, 50, we should start with, you know, the centuries, because it's turning around and it's catching up with what when you started to live. So it's an interesting dilemma, how we really use the dates, or we just use the second two numbers still, and no one will care what happened before. I don't know, I'm just rambling a bit, but I have a script. I have a whole script, so it's not just me ranting. I just spice it up because I'm in the mood. So anyway, Bro is announcing they, TM, are making a party now that the parents are out of town. I mean, the Bro and the sis in the family. Before you complain, these are two grown-ups. Maybe they are visiting the university. I mean, Buffy the Vampire Slayer also just learned and did no working until her mother passed away. So yeah, then she quit the university and went to doing odd jobs. Her final job was working in some McDonald's kind of stuff, fast food chain, and I was always wondering where did she get the money at the end of the seventh season to go into. One of them went to Brazil, one of them went to Paris, France, one of them went to another country. So, coming to Buffy reboot, what, how will they pull it together? I have no idea. Maybe they will use the comics to merge the storylines. We will see. There is a conflict of interest here as Sis wants to do that thing instead, but Anne is into Bro. Anne is the girlfriend of Sis. They are not lesbians, so don't get too excited. So that thing is not sex, although for a brief moment I was hoping that, yeah, there will be. But we all know what's gonna happen because that thing is obviously summoning Jeb the Ripper. The whole basic situation of this is that Jack the Ripper's knife was auctioned away from the Amityville house. Because why not? This is kind of spoiler. I don't think in the entirety of the movie they had a knife. I mean, Jack the Ripper used a knife from the kitchen of said house, but there is a box which supposedly includes the knife, but we don't see that knife. It's only 8 a.m., but Fatso arrives apparently to the party and starts perving on Bro. Yeah. He almost fucks him in the middle of the living room. Turns out this is turned into a meta joke that the actor is into the actor, but it's not mutual and it's very rapey, so it's it's not the most tasteful humor, but actually not too bad. The acting is also not too bad. I mean, this is actually pretty okay. The rest are on various level of full moon entertainment, acting, and even fat. So yes, he's bad, but don't look into the camera. So that's one thing. If you hear the tinkering, yeah, that's one of the things I could not record for you. But I will start it. I will do it all the way. At the 17th minute mark, we finally established the relevance of the title, somehow in the Amityville house with Jack's knife. Sure, why not? Yada yada, I already reported this. Of course, the girl will do a seance to summon Jack. Either way, before that, they do a not montage. I mean, normally they would try up various clothes for the party, like in Pretty Woman, but they just take the clothes and put it up. We don't even see panty shots, and it is just fastened up. It's kinda lazy, but I mean, low budget, low ideas, low effort, but it's servicing. The sound design is atrocious. Seriously, during the editing phase, you should balance the volume out whenever you are making a movie or just a YouTube video, because that's not too much to ask. I mean, I'm doing that. You should do that too. But the actual visual design is good. The music they are using is pretty good. So it's, as I said, the movie is not entirely bad. On the other hand, I feel the meta jokes are sometimes ruining the moment, even if they are written later to build up to an actual punchline. Eh, Sometimes, like, cheerleader bringing the beer was so in character, so it bothered me until the punchline came. Still, it's not a perfect movie. It's more bothers me because sometimes they do this when I'm really into the mood of the movie. Finally draws me in and they drop you a meta joke. At the 42-minute marks, we get Jackie, not Sparrow. I doubt the crew even had an eye. Yeah. And while there was supposed to be no nudity at all, they botched it, and there is thank you, shaky cam. Or morals go check out what happened, and this is funny for me because the bathroom in the upper floor, and they definitely not go up on the stairs. But since when did Jack switch to a chainsaw? Wrong franchise, Ron. Ron is the chief of SRS Cinema. We are not in Texas anymore. And in the 54th minute, we are reminded they're supposed to be aliens. So, no, the movie did not forget about them. Reporting this to you because, it must be aliens. But no, Jack is not alien, so spoiler or something. 2 minutes later, I had enough from the meta shenanigans. I actually got this was one of the point where I really got into the movie. Yeah, let's see what happens. Slashing and dashing and aliens and who will survive, who will escape, and then came the meta jokes. We stopped the movie and start to do the meta jokes. You should reconsider and maybe even reshoot. I know, shooting is expensive, but maybe one day reshoot if possible. Just, maybe think about it. And why is this cop sneaking around with a gun? Because to disperse a party, not because of Mr. Ripper. Actually, this is part of a meta joke that the who plays the cop in the movie of our movie. So we are watching a crew shooting a movie. She's supposed to be a last minute sentient who is something of a stylist or costume designer. Yeah, that's it. Thank you, Quartzvein. I will do a review once in the future about that one. I loved it. It was whether I ordered that or Amityville in Space or Feeder 3, and I catch the other two somewhere later, and anyway, it was totally worth it, at least for me. There is an epilepsy warning at 1 hour 10 minutes to almost 12 minutes. Anyway, who forgot to close the window? I guess this is a technical thing because they didn't have mics or something, so they natural voice have to come out from the building. You really could not afford the mic. Those personal mics they always carry on their backs, those bricks. The Amityville power should keep everything closed, so this window thing bothered me because the Amityville power should have closed the whole house so no one can escape. Although that was never part of the Amityville curse, but I can grant you it. I can grant it to this movie. So that's the smallest of the things, but at least we have dynamic killing. So we have actually good pacing if we don't consider the stop by meta joke parts. At least those which really stops the flow. I give a score of marginally competent, but the fact that they had a soundtrack is doing heavy lifting. It really had a constant music in the background, and that's really just helps.